Welcome. You are listening to Theopoetics, a language of wander and wonder. My name is Dr. Aaron C. Waldron, Theopoet, artist, and shaman in journey. These are words shaped by breath, imagination, and lived encounter. This is not a textbook, not a manual, and it's not even a map. It's a pilgrimage in language, a living conversation with the sacred. Each page, each pause is an opening, a rhythm of unknowing, a trembling flame of curiosity. Theopoetics begins with a question. How do we speak of God in ways that are still alive? It does not define the divine. It encounters it. It does not ask for certainty. It longs for participation. It does not build walls of doctrine. It paints windows of meaning. To practice theopoetics is to wander, to live with questions like companions, to step outside of rigid certainties and into the fluid, breathing mystery of existence. And in that wandering, we find wonder, not as naive astonishment, but as reverent attention, as the sacred pulse that beats beneath everything. As you listen, we invite you to treat this audiobook not as information, but as theopoetic meditation. Let your body listen as much as your mind. Let your words breathe. Let pauses linger. Let the spaces between sentences speak to you in their own tongue. You may not agree with everything you hear. That's not the point. Theopoetics does not demand agreement, only presence. It is not here to give answers, but to awaken attention to the beauty, the pain, the paradox of being alive, and the divine that hums quietly within it all. So breathe with me. Step beyond certainty into the flood of metaphor, the warmth of flesh, the silence between thoughts. This is a language of wander and wonder. Noodling the unknown. There's a fishing practice in the American South known as noodling or hand fishing. No rods, no reels, no bait. Just your bare hand reaching into the murky black hole in the riverbank, waiting for something unseen to bite. If a catfish latches on, you seize it by the gills and drag it into the light. It is thrilling, it is dangerous, and in most places, it's illegal. The risks are real. Catfish can exceed 100 pounds and drag a person underwater. The same dark holes may shelter snapping turtles, snakes, or alligators. A single mistake could mean broken bones or worse. Noodling is not for the faint of heart, and yet this strange practice offers a striking theopoetic metaphor for faith and our spiritual walk. The hand in the hole, a leap of faith. To noodle is to plunge your hand into darkness with no guarantee of what you'll find. The hole becomes a symbol of the unknown, the mysteries of God, the uncharted future, the nights of doubt we all must pass through. The hand represents our own act of reaching out, vulnerable and unprotected. It is a gesture of trust, not in tools, not in certainty, but in the possibility that something waits to meet us in the depths. Faith often looks like this. It's not safe. It's not predictable. It asks us to risk ourselves in the unseen. We have been culturally conditioned to seek certainty, attempting to expose the vast mysteries of existence to the bright light of our terrible modern rationality. We demand static facts and rigid dogmas, transforming the pursuit of knowledge into an aggressive inquisition rather than a relational inquisitiveness. But the theopoetic journey demands a different posture. To truly encounter the divine and the complex relationality of our world, we must leave the shore of brightly lit certainty and wade into the murky, unpredictable waters of the unknown. The theopoetic metaphor for this metamodern pursuit of truth is found not in the pristine laboratory, but in the swampy backwaters of the American South. It is the visceral, precarious practice of catfishing, wading into the water, locating the darkest, deepest hole, and thrusting a bare hand inside. When we reach into the dark hole, we are touching the ancient void. The theologian Dr. Catherine Keller connects this dark water to the darkness on the face of the deep found in Genesis 1. This is the oceanic chaos, the formless water out of which all creativity and becoming emerge. For centuries, rigid theocratic traditions have thought to banish this darkness, demanding absolute doctrinal certainty. But negative or apophatic theology invites us to recognize the limits of our mastery. The divine is not a flat opacity, but a luminous darkness, an infinite mystery that vastly exceeds our cognitive grasp. Reaching into the whole is an acknowledgement of our profound apophatic entanglement with a universe that is infinitely more complicated than we can ever control.